to the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight, where we introduce local businesses to the community and the world at large through social media. My name is Alan Cohen. I am on the board of directors for the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce, and it's a pleasure to do these interviews so I meet such great people and organizations. I also run a company with my wife Evelyn called Living Great Real Estate. Together we're a boutique agency here in Fair Lawn. Today I have a terrific guest for you. Her name is Lisa MacClements. She is the age coordinator, age-friendly coordinator, very friendly. We'll see in a moment. She's the age-friendly coordinator for Fair Lawn for all ages. So I'd like to bring on Lisa. Lisa, how are you today?
Hi, Alan. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And seeing your smiley face, yes, you are friendly. It's nice. We've been trying to set this up. So it's a pleasure to have you with us. So just give us a little background on what the Fair Lawn for All Ages is all about.
So Fair Lawn for All Ages is a community initiative that focuses on bringing age-friendly programming and amenities to the town. According to the World Health Organization, age-friendly means that it's a community that makes a conscious effort to encourage active aging in place. So basically, we're focused on bringing things to Fair Lawn that may entice our older adult community members to remain in town as opposed to maybe retiring elsewhere.
Okay, so you're talking about for all ages, and what are the age groups? When you say all ages, are we talking from young children all the way up to seniors, or are you focused more on 55 and above?
So while there is a large intergenerational component of our initiative, we are actually focusing the majority of our attention on ages 55 and up. We do put special programming in place for our senior citizens, but by expanding our view to include 55 and up, those are the folks that are really, we want to have all of our changes in place for when they age up and into those programs. So we are actually in the process of surveying our community. As of the time of this recording, Alan, we have 437 residents in town, 55 and up, who have completed our survey. And it ranges from, just basically asking them, what do you feel Fair Lawn already has in place that is of a benefit to you? Or what do the amenities look like, or what do you wish they would look like? What would be attractive to you? What are your needs and your wants? With regard to, say, transportation or affordable housing, accessibility to healthcare, entertainment and activities, and there's and actually the sheer walkability of the town. As you age, walkability might become an issue. So those are the things that we're looking for feedback on. And once we close out that survey at the end of December, we're going to spend the good portion of January rolling up all that data and prioritizing where our focus needs to be with regard to the feedback that our folks gave us.
Terrific. So how long has the company been around?
So the initiative actually, our council had applied for this grant. The grant is provided by the Henry and Marilyn Taub Foundation. We received the grant in January. And then, as you know, as everything else, the planning came to I won't say a screeching halt in March, but it did really put a stop to a lot of the interpersonal type of programs that we wanted to put in place. So we were kind of on hold until the early part of the summer. And that's when I came on board. I came on board in January 1st of this year. It's been really challenging to figure out ways to bring seniors together and really not only give them something to participate in, but to really be conscious of how we can help to combat senior isolation, because that has also been a very big problem.
Sure.
As you know, as so many other issues that have come up, but senior isolation, especially because they're a target group and they're not going outside of their homes very much. And that was kind of where our programming was intended to be, to create activities and programming for them to get them together. And because we haven't been able to do that, we've really had to think outside the box. But for several months during that darkest part of the spring, we really weren't able to do much. So it's been challenging, but.
Yeah. I mean, you brought up a lot of things. First of all, okay, so you said it started in January, so it's a new company. When we was talking a little before, you said there's another program in another town also. So are these spread out in Bergen County, or does it go wider than that? So let's focus on the company first, and then we'll get a little bit more to the details.
Right. So unlike the other members of the chamber that are businesses, we are actually a grant-funded initiative. So there were several pilot towns that were awarded this grant 4 years ago. So our neighboring towns like Ridgewood, Garfield, Teaneck, Englewood, and Montclair, they received this same grant 4 years ago. Westwood is also another one. I worked very closely with Westwood. And so they've had 4 years to really put their programming in place. I work for Meals on Wheels North Jersey. I'm their business manager. And that's how I became familiar with the program. The Westwood for All Ages program actually operates under the umbrella of Meals on Wheels North Jersey. So I worked side by side with their program manager while they got their initiative started. So that gave me a really good background for transitioning over into Fair Lawn when Fair Lawn had applied and was awarded the grant in January. So we come into this group, this age-friendly network of 5 or 6 very established towns, and now we're probably 15 strong. There's Wayne is now a part of it. It's mostly Bergen County. I think Wayne is the first one in Passaic County. New Providence. There's South Orange, Madison, and Chatham. So they're branching out all over New Jersey. So we all have to tweak the program specific to our individual town needs and wants, we all basically have the same mission. And that really is to, work with our senior population, our older adult population, find out what it is that they love about the town and maybe what they feel the town is missing. And then it's our job to manage that grant in ways that perhaps brings those amenities to them.
That's great. So, okay, so it's been around about 4 or 5 years already.
Yes.
The main organization, and you're spreading out. So that's wonderful. Obviously, it's been successful in those other towns that you were able to expand from there.
Correct.
So,
yes.
That brings us up to the other thing. Now, since you are focusing on seniors itself, how does that? Does it conflict? Does it enhance, say, the senior center of Fair Lawn? Because I know we had a nice senior center. I went there a few times, just say hello. And we were, talking about housing for elderly folks and that. So does it work hand in hand? I know you're separate, but yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of overlap because you're looking for activities, they're looking for activities.
Right.
They had also a senior center. Do you all actually have a center that in good times people would be able to come to, or how would that work?
So we do not have a physical location, and we will not have a physical location. What we're doing is really bringing programming to other locations. We have worked very, very closely with the directors of the Fair Lawn Senior Center. So we are not in direct conflict with them at all. They have been wonderful partners and a fantastic resource for us, with regard to putting us in touch with the members, the extensive list of members of the Senior Center. Karen and Donna have been wonderful with sharing our information through email about programs or events that we have been able to put together. And it's really a partnership. The Senior Center is funded by the Borough of Fair Lawn, but Fair Lawn for All Ages is funded by a grant. So we have monetary sources coming from different places, but we have really forged a wonderful working relationship, and I feel like we're just getting started. We've done a few things so far, but going forward, we will absolutely be working in partnership with the Fair Lawn Senior Center and also the Fair Lawn Senior Advisory Committee. They have been a wonderful resource for us, giving not only their hands-on assistance with events and such, but they're really a great informational resource to us as well.
Great. So you mentioned the one grant. Are there other grants that you're getting money from? Because you say you do get monetary income from other areas. So
we can, yes. We have the ability to apply for as many grants as we want. For the time being, we are solely operating off of the Marilyn and Henry Taub grant.
Right. Do you do other fundraisers? Will you be doing fundraisers also, or really specifically grants?
It'll probably be most specifically grant-based.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Terrific. Well, it's great. I mean, I guess, like you said, with the Fair Lawn Senior Center, I mean, you're both doing it for a great cause. So it can't be competition because, it's all for the good of the seniors.
Absolutely.
You mentioned something else about isolation. So I know I have an elderly mom and she lives in Florida. I haven't seen her now it's over a year. She doesn't want me to fly. I'm afraid to fly, over that 60 number.
Yep.
I don't really want to fly. I feel terrible about it, but she keeps saying, don't come. Whatever you do, don't come, don't fly. I do know a few friends that flew back and forth, and most of them are fine. I did have one colleague a little while back, maybe about 2-3 months ago. They had to go to Florida. They really wanted to go. And he got COVID and passed away.
So I'm so sorry.
So my mom says, do not come.
Yeah.
She's in the house all the time. She used to be very active. I know, like a year or two ago, playing cards, play poker, play mahjong, going to their senior center. She lives in a community village. What is it? Century Village. Mm-hmm. She was so active. And this year, she doesn't go out. She's first going out a little to a Target or to get a grocery. And she has another neighbor that, is 100, doesn't go out at all. So this has got to be, obviously because of COVID, everything has changed. So how are you helping these people? First of all, you can't go to them. They can't come to you. And this isolation, I think, really affects health, obviously.
Absolutely.
Because it's a mental thing. If your health is up, your mentality is up. You're great. Correct. You feel good. You're dark and depressed all day, and you're looking at the TV all day and going to sleep and waking up. So how do you deal with that in trying to help these people?
So, and it's such a relevant concern right now, and you're doing the right thing by not getting on a plane. It is the right thing to do to stay put for now, and it's just sad, especially with the holidays. What the sacrifices that we're all having to make in the name of safety. But the senior isolation issue is very real. We see it all the time with our Meals on Wheels clients. And what we have recently done is we have launched our Senior Phone Buddy program. So we feel like we wanted to recruit a bunch of residents, Fair Lawn resident volunteers who would be interested in reaching out to our seniors.
Mm.
And the response was overwhelming.
Wow.
I am getting, my inbox is full every single day from good-hearted Fairlawn residents who want to help. They want to give back. They realize the impact that this is having on everybody, and they want to do their part. They want to help. And it's not only from the adults. We've had middle school and high school students reaching out, wanting to do the same thing. And they can relate to it because they have a grandmother or a grandfather, you know, who they know is going through the same thing too. Maybe they haven't been able to see their grandparents. So the response has been overwhelming. I actually have more volunteers than I have seniors. So my focus right now is trying to identify those seniors in town that would really, really benefit from a friendly caller. And what we're doing is, we're just having people make a casual call. Like,
Yep.
Hi, let's talk about anything that makes you happy. Movies that you like, restaurants in town. What brought you to Fairlawn? How long have you been here? What was your profession? Just very general things. Just to create, a connection in some way that kind of distracts you from the current situation. And it goes on both ends. It's not just somebody calling up a senior to distract them. It really is creating solid connections with people in town. And maybe they'll create some friendships too. Another thing we were doing is a youth volunteer snow shoveling program. I recruited, a dozen or so high school students that would be happy to go and shovel some sidewalks or a driveway for some of the seniors who maybe have a mobility issue.
Yeah.
And they're happy to do it. So these are kind of the things that we want to have in place and ready to go for any senior that might need us. And again, this goes back to the intergenerational component of this whole thing. Let's tap into everybody in the community. It's not just about, focusing on our seniors. It really, how can everybody else help? How can we all help each other? I was also recently contacted by the character education coordinator at Memorial Middle School.
Mm-hmm.
Normally they would bring seniors into the school and they would have this face-to-face experience with them. They're not able to do that right now. So they reached out to Fairlawn for All Ages to see how can we do this in a virtual way that still builds these connections between our middle schoolers and our seniors. As far as information, we feel that so many people have been, inside for so long. Maybe they're not in touch with some of the more important information that's going on. If they're not tech savvy, they may not have received a lot of town information, say. So back in November, we arranged for a senior info bag grab and go. It was a drive-through event at Memorial Pool. We invited as many seniors as we could. We blasted it out on the mayor's message. We had Facebook, we had our website, the senior center blasted it out for us. And we had over 100 seniors that came to Memorial Pool and drove through, and we handed them a Fairlawn for All Ages grocery tote bag because everybody's doing away with plastic soon. And we loaded it with town information about the minibus, the town pool, emergency services. We had probably 25 businesses or so gave us their brochures or a discount coupon to come into their stores. We had AARP sent us information. The Dana Foundation, who focuses on healthy brain aging, sent us these beautiful brain puzzle books to put in the bags. We had Bergen County Senior Services donated 200 boxed lunches for us to give out. Unilever donated hand sanitizer spray, bar soap, hands lotion. It was a wonderful, we did adult coloring books with colored pencils, things to keep them engaged over the winter months. And we invited them to come. And it was like, if you've ever seen Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. There was a line of cars through the Memorial Pool parking lot that was quite wonderful. And as they drove up to the station and we were able to greet them, we had the directors of the senior center with us. And a lot of those folks hadn't seen each other in probably 8 months. And there was a lot of tears and a lot of virtual hugging. But it was a wonderful thing to see the connection. Even though it was at a distance and in a car, you know what? Just having an event like that where it brought people out for a purpose and it put them in touch with familiar faces. It was worth its weight in gold. And we had put 200 bags together and 100 folks showed up. And later on, somebody had asked me if I thought that was the event a success. We only gave out 100 bags. I said, are you kidding me? We made 100 connections with our seniors. So it absolutely was a success. And the leftover bags we're actually going to distribute at the new Senator Bob Gordon Senior Living Complex on River Road. So those folks aren't all moved in yet. They're almost there. So probably in another week or so, we're going to take those goodie bags and we're going to put a special welcome letter inside them with a few other goodies for the holidays. And we're going to hang them on the doorknobs of all those units in there because those are 84 potentially new folks to the community. I'm sure there's some Fair Lawn residents that have relocated over there. But we thought it was a great opportunity to kind of connect with those folks and show them what Fair Lawn's all about.
I got the chills. I'm serious. You're so powerful and so positive, and I really feel, especially at this time, but all times, that you need to take care of the adults.
Absolutely.
Our seniors, our parents, you can't forget them. I mean, there's some, of course, Asian cultures and this and that, or Latino where they move everybody keeps living in the same apartment, where a lot of American basic, a lot of us, our parents are living on their own. And they are in that isolation, or they go into these homes where they don't know the people. There's a lot of abuse. I don't want to, get into that side with, caregivers and this and that you don't know what's going on. So even this 5-minute phone call, which you brought up before, is so valuable. And that person will look forward to that. If you say, I'm calling at Tuesday, they may not remember what they're eating or this and that, but they know at Tuesday at 12 o'clock, Mary is going to call me to say hello because she might be the only one because maybe they don't have children. And
it's true. Or they're not local to them.
Yeah. And same, I'm bringing up my mom because we're talking about seniors, but I talk to her now every day, where before I call once a week, I forget it. I'm so busy. If I don't make the call, even to say hello, then I say to myself, what is she doing? She doesn't even know what she's doing today. And then the other thing you mentioned was, reaching out through the internet, which obviously a lot of these seniors are not acclimated on. They might have a pop-up phone. I finally got my mom on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
And my wife was deliberate in saying, you got to get her on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the program where you can see the video. So, but every week she says, I can't find it. I can't do it. But when I get her, we get to see her. I let my kids, I mean, they're young adults now, but we could say hello. So that interaction, even if it's for 5 minutes, is wonderful. And like you say, you have so many volunteers jumping on something like this.
We really did. I was blown away by the response to it.
Really, really incredible. I just want to get back a little bit on your background because you have such a positive energy for this. I mean, no, it's true. I mean, where did you come from? Just as a short, paragraph on what you've done that got you into Meals on Wheels and Fair Lawn for All Ages, which is both are such positive things for our community.
So I've been with Meals on Wheels, North Jersey, for about 6.5 years now as business manager. And through working there, I became familiar through our executive director with an educational program called Bergen Leads. And Bergen Leads is sponsored by the Bergen Volunteer Center and Bergen Community College. And basically, it's a 10-month deep dive into all things Bergen County. Every month was a different focus about Bergen County. It was, whether it was the Parks Department master planning or an environmental or educational or performance arts based. Every month there was a different focus and a different speaker, and it really provided a deep dive. But mostly it is a networking experience. You are given access to Q&As with folks that you probably would never have access to, CEOs of hospitals and the architects of the master planning for the parks. And you're able to really ask educated questions of those folks to kind of build the bigger picture of Bergen County and how it operates. And I grew up in Bergen County, right here in Fairlawn, actually. Oh. And, you grow up here and you think you know everything. But I'll tell you, you don't know what you don't know until you go through a program like that. They only take about 30 students per year. So it's a little bit of an exclusive group. And it's made up of every industry you can imagine. I came in that program coming from the nonprofit world, and it was probably one of the most worthwhile programs that I've ever been a part of. But the overarching theme of our year was to put together a presentation about aging in place here in Bergen County and how all of those factors that we studied throughout the year, environmental, performing arts, all that stuff, how it will roll up into aging in place here in Bergen County. So it gave me a unique perspective of things coming into our Fairlawn for All Ages program. I was approached because of my experience with the Bergen Leads program and with Westwood for All Ages, because again, they fall under the umbrella of Meals on Wheels North Jersey. So I worked side by side with the Westwood folks as they were putting their plan together. And then once Fairlawn received the grant, I was thrilled to hear the news, and I was approached to come and manage their program, and I couldn't be happier. I'm thrilled that my hometown is part of that age-friendly network, and I'm really excited. Once we kind of get out of the weeds of COVID, we're really, really going to be able to do some wonderful things here in town.
That's great.
So that's my story.
No, that's terrific. It sums it all up. So let me ask you, you did mention about, you grow up here and other people grow up and staying here. So many people obviously move further south to the Carolinas, to Florida. The taxes in Bergen County are at sky high. How do these, are you finding a lot of people are staying more or moving away more? Because it's hard to make a living, obviously. Then they're on fixed income and the taxes keep going up. So it can't be a senior friendly area financially to stay in a town like Fairlawn.
Right. Yeah, I can only speculate on what the numbers are. I'm hoping to learn a great deal about that, actually, once we're able to roll up the data in our survey to kind of see where people's heads are at. But I'm hoping now with the increase in the senior housing here in town that a good number of them will be able to transition. Owning a home here is expensive. And if but then maybe they're torn. Their families are here. Their grandkids are here. People want to stay involved in organizations that they've been a part of for years. And if there are, senior housing options for them right here in town, I would hope that they, would explore those options. The Bob Gordon complex is beautiful. It's very well appointed. It's a wonderful solution for a whole lot of folks. Mm-hmm. And I think there's another one in the works too. Yeah. So I'm happy to hear that we are moving in the right direction that way.
That's terrific. Yeah. Let's keep them here. Let's keep them involved and
Absolutely.
keep them active. Come on. That's great. So last question. Are you a member or the company a member of the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce?
We are.
You are. Okay.
We are.
Well, so am I. So,
Yeah.
so is it, when did they join? At the beginning? It just so that you could get a better network and all that?
Yeah. So we membership in the local chamber falls under the realm of what we can cover as part of the grant. It is an incredible networking opportunity for us. I've met with Tony over coffee, and we've had wonderful conversation, and we really look forward to working with each other. And I, in my master plan in my head, would love to work with the businesses that belong to the chamber on some age-friendly projects. Maybe some programs where we can work together to try to get some seniors into their businesses. I know seniors love to shop local. So maybe there's some kind of reward card or whatever. I mean, I just want to sit and brainstorm with these folks.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to having normal meetings with people and putting some really mutually beneficial programs into place with our chamber partners.
Yeah, it's a great organization, and we've been members of it for quite a while. It's about 2 years now, and before that, my other company, which I also have a record company called ACM Records, production, and we were members many years back with that. So I find it terrific. Great network, and of course, when we had meetings, in-person meetings, luncheons once a week, and this and that. It was great. Let me ask you, have you ever worked with the Rotary of Fair Lawn?
Yeah, so we have already presented to the Sunrise Rotary, and we are on the calendar to present to the other Rotary in January.
Great. So I'm on the Rotary too
now.
So if you would like, we could speak to the Fair Lawn, the Rotary of Fair Lawn. They're a great organization too.
Yeah.
We like to, do a little presentation, and we might brainstorm there how to help you.
I'd love to. I'd love to. Yeah, I know. Once at the end of January, once we have more of our data, we want to go back and do a second round too, and present our findings.
Yeah. That's great. Well, Lisa, I got to say this was enlightening, really positive. I wish you and you personally, and of course the organization itself, Fair Lawn for All Ages, the best of success in helping out our seniors, our 55 and over, and the young people for helping these seniors. They get extra kudos for doing that. So it's all positive. It really, really is terrific. So I want to thank you again for joining the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce.
Thanks, Alan. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was my pleasure, and nice to finally meet you.
Yes.
To say, Lisa MacClements, which is the age-friendly coordinator for Fair Lawn for All Ages. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks,
it's
Alan.
really a pleasure. My name is Alan Cohen. I'm on the board of directors for the Fair Lawn Chamber of Commerce, and this has been the Business Spotlight. Thank you.